In 1983, a blood-red Plymouth Fury rolled onto movie screens and into horror history. Her name was Christine. She could drive herself, heal herself, and kill anyone who got in her way. Audiences thought it was fiction, a twisted fantasy born in Stephen King's imagination. But in King's home state of Maine, people whispered that the story was true, because years before Christine hit theaters, there was another car, a real one, a car that killed police officers, a car that drove families apart, and a car that, according to witnesses, still moves on its own. This is not the story of a movie. It's the story that inspired it, the horrifying true legend behind Christine. By the early 1980s, Stephen King was already a household name, the reigning master of horror. He wanted something different, a monster no one had ever seen before. And one night, sitting in his driveway in Bangor, Maine, staring at his beat-up Ford Pinto, King wondered, what if a car had a temper? He saw it in a flash, the headlights like eyes, the grille like a sneer, the deep purr of the engine like breathing. He imagined a car that wasn't just haunted, but alive. The next morning, he started writing Christine. But what King didn't say, at least not publicly, was that stories about haunted vehicles had already been circulating through Maine for decades, and one in particular was almost identical to the car he was about to make famous. Old Orchard Beach, Maine, 1954. A small seaside town known for its boardwalks, carnival lights, and quiet neighborhoods. That year, the local police department purchased a brand new Dodge Coronet, painted metallic gold with a deep chrome finish. They called it the Golden Eagle. It was the pride of the fleet until things started going wrong. Within 2 years, every officer who regularly drove that car was dead. The first, Officer Raymond Lebrie, died in a bizarre murder-suicide after what friends described as a sudden mental break. The second, John Reynolds, lost control on a dry, flat road in broad daylight. His car flipped 3 times before landing upside down. The third, George Stinson, was found shot to death in his own home, his service weapon missing. Locals began whispering that the car was cursed and that it hated cops. One mechanic who serviced it said the doors would slam shut on their own. Another claimed he heard the radio turn on when the keys weren't even in the ignition. The department quietly retired the car. They sold it off cheap to a local family. And that's when the nightmare truly began. The buyers were the Allen family, who lived just outside town. They were excited. A barely used police car for a fraction of the price. But the moment they brought it home, the family dog refused to go near it. At night, they'd hear metal creaking in the garage. Sometimes the headlights would flash on by themselves, casting light into their living room. One evening, the father woke up to find the car idling, keys still hanging by the door. Neighbors started noticing too. They claimed they saw a figure in the driver's seat, a dark shape that turned its head when they passed. The Allen children said the car hummed when you stood near it, like it was breathing. The family eventually parked it permanently and left it covered in the driveway. But that didn't stop it. Over the next decade, a series of local teens who tried to vandalize or steal parts of the car met strange fates. One died after being struck by a truck just days later. Another crashed his dirt bike into a telephone pole. A third was hit by lightning while fishing. By the 1970s, Old Orchard Beach had a new legend, the car that kills. And its name was the Golden Eagle. While the Golden Eagle haunted small-town Maine, cursed cars were nothing new. In fact, They'd been around for decades, machines that seemed to carry the weight of death. James Dean's Porsche 550 Spider, nicknamed Little Bastard, killed him in 1955 during a high-speed crash. But the curse didn't stop there. Every person who handled the wreck, from mechanics to collectors, suffered terrible accidents. A truck driver transporting the remains was crushed when it rolled off its trailer. 2 separate buyers of salvaged parts later died in crashes. And then there was Archduke Franz Ferdinand's car, the one he was assassinated in. An open-top, Graf and stiff phaeton. Every owner afterward died violently. It crashed, burned, and even rolled off a cliff, killing a family of 4. These machines, Dean's Porsche, the Archduke's Phaeton, and Maine's Golden Eagle, shared a terrifying pattern. They weren't just vehicles, they were echoes. They seemed to remember tragedy, and that same idea that evil could live in metal became the heart of Christine. When Stephen King began writing Christine in 1981, he was struggling. He was addicted to cocaine and alcohol, and many nights he'd black out mid-sentence. Later, he admitted that Christine was an unintentional reflection of his addiction, a story about a man who falls in love with something that ultimately destroys him. Arnie Cunningham, the teenager in the novel, isn't just possessed by his car. He's consumed by it. Christine becomes his escape, his addiction, his pride, and his undoing. It's a love story, King once said, between a boy and his car and a car that loves him back. That's what made Christine so different. It wasn't just about horror. It was about obsession, the kind that makes people ignore danger until it's too late. And though King said the story came to him in a dream, many believed the Golden Eagle was sitting quietly in the back of his mind. When Christine went into production in 1982, director John Carpenter wanted authenticity. He sourced 23 real 1958 Plymouth Furies, restoring each one to perfect condition with deep red paint, white roof, chrome trim. From day one, the set felt wrong. During one setup, a car parked on level ground rolled forward on its own, smashing through lighting equipment. A stunt driver lost control of a car during a chase sequence when the steering column locked, nearly identical to Arnie's death scene. One car, parked for the night, was found the next morning miles away, parked and locked, with no sign of forced entry. And midway through production, a storage garage caught fire. The only cars burned were the Christines. Crew members laughed it off until they didn't. By the end of filming, several prop vehicles had mysteriously vanished. One was gone for 20 years, only to reappear in a Nevada junkyard, perfectly intact. Even after the movie wrapped, strange events followed. A truck hauling promotional cars to a theater in Kansas burst into flames under a clear sky. Investigators never found a cause. Carpenter later said in an interview, "We joked that Christine was a diva, but sometimes it didn't feel like a joke." While the movie thrived in Hollywood, the real cursed car in Maine refused to fade. In the 1990s, the Golden Eagle passed into the hands of Wendy Allen, a local artist fascinated by the legend. She said the car was impossible to start except when she touched it. When she did, the engine purred. Over the years, she documented a string of tragedies linked to the car. A neighbor's dog was found mutilated near the garage. Her cousin was crushed to death while working beneath it. People who mocked the car online reported accidents, illnesses, and deaths. When asked if she believed the car was evil, Wendy shook her head. "It's not evil. It's misunderstood. People die because they challenge it." In 2010, a group of local church members broke into her property, calling the car Satan's work. They smashed its windows, poured holy water over the seats and took axes to the frame. Then they hauled the remains to a junkyard. But months later, Wendy revealed the truth. The car they destroyed wasn't the real Golden Eagle. She'd hidden the true parts, the chassis, the engine, the heart, and rebuilt it. You can't kill it, she said. Why do we believe in cursed cars? Maybe because deep down, we know machines inherit our emotions. We yell at them. We name them. We love them. We pour our energy into them, and maybe, sometimes, they give it back. Stephen King once said that cars are the closest thing America has to a personal demon. They're fast, beautiful, and deadly. And when you combine obsession, speed, and pride, you get Christine. To King, the car symbolized addiction, the thing that makes you feel powerful while slowly destroying you. The more you feed it, the more it takes. Arnie's slow transformation from timid boy to violent killer mirrors what King himself was going through, a man possessed by something he thought he controlled. Maybe Christine wasn't just a story. Maybe it was a confession. In 2016, a viral dashcam video surfaced showing a ghost car vanishing during a police pursuit. Comment sections filled with one word, Christine. Of the 23 movie cars, only 2 still exist. One sits in California, pristine. The other is privately owned, and its alarm goes off every night at exactly 3 a.m. If you made it this far, you don't just like scary stories. You live for the truth behind them. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next report. Because next time, the case we uncover might not be from the past. It might still be happening